While Trump's long connection with Boeing has certainly seen its fair share of ups and downs over the years, but things may have gotten even rockier today. A new report from Raw Story details a showdown between Boeing's CEO and the nation's top leader that turned into a dramatic clash of business ambition and political power. At the heart of the dispute is Boeing's bold plan to shift part of its manufacturing to Mexico, a move meant to cut costs and boost efficiency in an extremely tough, competitive global market. However, the new president responded forcefully, threatening to impose a hefty tariff that would triple the price of Boeing's aircraft if the plan went ahead. This heated disagreement highlights the ongoing struggle between savvy business strategies and political ideology, sparking a major debate about the future of U.S. manufacturing and global trade. What lies at the core of this clash is a deep divide over what counts as sound economic planning in today's interconnected world. For Boeing, moving or expanding manufacturing is not simply a choice between making products at home or abroad. It is a carefully crafted strategy based on market realities, cost savings, and the benefits of positioning production close to vital suppliers in emerging markets. The company's leadership, under its CEO, argues that the aerospace industry now demands adaptability and openness to international supply networks that cross borders. This practical approach shows how to stay competitive in an industry where profits are slim and success depends on intelligent use of global resources. On the other hand, the president's response grew out of a more protectionist stance, where keeping production in the United States is seen as a matter of national interest, even if it means sacrificing the advantages of being part of a global operation. By threatening a tariff so steep it would make Boeing's products prohibitively expensive, the president aimed to send a clear message: any move that might appear to shift jobs away from American soil will not be tolerated. This use of economic pressure as a domestic policy weapon underlines the administration's commitment to economic nationalism, favoring a strict made-in-America definition over the more complex reality of modern manufacturing. The proposed punishment, a shocking 200% tariff, was designed to force companies like Boeing to reconsider their plans. That kind of threat carries weight because it could derail production costs and supply chains, potentially making Boeing's jets too expensive to sell on the global stage. Yet this approach runs the risk of ignoring all the intricate factors that go into corporate decisions: cost efficiency, skilled labor availability, proximity to markets, and the intricate web of suppliers that the aerospace sector relies on. In response, Boeing's CEO fired back with more than a curt "no thanks" to the tariff threat. "There's no one quick fix for this," he said. "We've got a lot of problems we're working through." This strong statement underscored that Boeing's strategies are driven by rigorous analysis and market data, not political grandstanding. His position reflected a belief common among global businesses: free trade and streamlined operations are more valuable than restrictive nationalist policies. By publicly rejecting the president's tariff threat, Boeing's leader defended the company's autonomy and highlighted the necessity for firms to operate in ways that make sense in today's interconnected global economy. This clash is about more than a single business decision. It represents the broader debate over how companies should navigate a world where success hinges on agility and global resource management. The fallout from this confrontation is far-reaching. It showed how fragile modern trade relations can be. One policy threat can send shockwaves through an entire industry. In aerospace, where parts come from all corners of the globe, a massive tariff could force a complete overhaul of manufacturing processes and pricing structures. That could push aircraft costs sky high, making Boeing uncompetitive internationally. Furthermore, the fear of soaring expenses and disrupted supply chains could threaten jobs, not just on the factory floor, but across the vast network that supports Boeing, from parts suppliers and logistics providers to maintenance crews. While the president's aim was to safeguard American workers, the unintended consequence of such a policy might actually hurt the very workforce it intended to shield. This paradox underscores the challenge of protecting domestic jobs while acknowledging the reality of globalized production. Beyond the economic fallout, this dispute raises deeper questions about national identity in an age of global integration. The president's stance echoes a push to revive manufacturing as a source of American pride and economic strength. Yet even the most proudly American companies now depend heavily on international partnerships and operations. A narrow view of national interest that ignores this reality could end up inflicting more damage than benefit. By defending global operations, Boeing's CEO reminded everyone that American businesses must be free to innovate, compete, and collaborate internationally if they hope to thrive. From a financial standpoint, the president's proposed tariff threatened to upset a carefully balanced equation. Boeing's move to build some parts in Mexico wasn't an abandonment of American production. It was a strategic decision to diversify operations, capitalize on lower labor costs, tap into Latin American markets, and leverage established supplier networks. Punishing that strategy with extreme tariffs could trigger a domino effect, driving up costs, provoking retaliatory measures from other nations and undermining U.S. exports. Such economic tit-for-tat could weaken America's standing in international markets and inject uncertainty that deters investment and stifles innovation. This episode also highlights the growing tension between political authority and corporate leadership at a time when both are under intense public scrutiny. The debate between Boeing CEO and the president epitomizes a fundamental question: what role should government play in corporate decisions? One camp believes leaders have an obligation to keep industries firmly rooted in the domestic economy. The other insists companies require the freedom to adjust to rapidly changing market conditions. Crafting policies that both protect American interests and allow businesses the latitude to expand and innovate is a challenge of immense complexity. In this case, Boeing's CEO stood his ground. His response came across as a bold affirmation of business independence and a statement that decisions should rest on facts, not fleeting political winds. Many in the business community and among investors applauded his stance, seeing it as evidence that Boeing is committed to a long-term strategy rather than short-term political pressures. By resisting the tariff threat, Boeing signaled that it values stable, data-driven planning above reactionary policy moves. The ripple effects of this showdown extend into global trade policy. If the United States, a major economic powerhouse, begins penalizing its own companies for engaging globally, it sets a risky precedent. Other countries could follow suit, weakening trade agreements and eroding the trust upon which international commerce depends. This incident serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of wielding economic regulations for political gain and reminds us of the delicate balance required to protect local interests while fostering international collaboration and progress. Ultimately, the conflict between Boeing's CEO and the president illuminates the challenges U.S. companies face in a globalized world. It throws into relief the tension between preserving traditional manufacturing jobs at home and the pressing need to stay efficient and forward-looking in an era where agility offers a competitive edge. This battle makes it evident just how complex things become when politics and business collide, forcing both sides to navigate a mix of financial, political, and cultural considerations. This story is one of resilience and refusal to yield to political coercion. It demonstrates that sound, long-term business planning must remain insulated from the shifting winds of political debate if a company is to thrive in today's unpredictable environment. Boeing's leaders didn't just defend one strategic decision. They issued a broader declaration about the importance of corporate autonomy and of making choices grounded in genuine market needs. The implications of this moment, political, economic, and cultural, are likely to shape discussions on tariffs, trade policies, and how American firms conduct global operations for years to come. The dispute over moving production and the looming threat of tariffs could well become a milestone in the ongoing dialogue about balancing the protection of domestic interests with the demands of a highly interconnected global economy.